Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We're here again for another very popular session, conversation with Mayor John Moor. John, welcome again.
Thank you very much. I got to say, we've come full circle. Unfortunately, back in May, we had to wear masks. In July, we were mask-free, and we're back here in September now, and we're wearing masks again. So we've come full circle.
We have come full circle. We're back to trying to figure out what we're saying to each other. But where do we stand locally with COVID now?
Well, again, when we met in July, the number was 1727, and that was only an increase of 36 cases from when we met in May. Since July to September 7th, which is 54 days, we've had an increase of 142. So that's about 4 times what we experienced from the first and the second interview to this interview. So it's definitely came back. We just have to take one day at a time and just, again, be vigilant. When inside city hall, you have to wear a mask, all the city buildings, and just everybody be safe, social distance, and just act responsible, and hopefully we can all get through this and we won't have a long, miserable winter.
What's the background on this new microbrewery that's coming onto Cookman Avenue?
It's Jeff Play, and he owns the Asbury brewery that's on the dead end of Sewell Avenue. So he's relocating from there, and he's making it smaller because it was too big of a location for him, and he's moving into the old J.J. Newberry's on the ground floor and taking he's not taking the entire building.
Okay.
And he's doing it more, I think, for the location.
Where does the parking deck stand?
It's still on the drawing boards. We just need like setbacks off the railroad or something like that, a couple feet there and here, which we don't want to go through with all this, and then they say, oh, we're going to sell it to you for $1 million. Let's get all the hurdles before we have to jump them. So we're still trying to get that meeting rescheduled. Again, it's still going to be in the parking lot, basically where the transportation center is, on the south side of the transportation center. And we're talking about 5 floors and between 500 and 550 spots.
I mean, how can that be bad for the city?
I don't think it can be. I know some people don't think it's needed, but I mean, again, you're a business person, you see it's needed. Plus, we have other developments being planned for Springwood Avenue that may not have enough parking. And these would be low income in some stores and everything which are needed, where they could use the parking garage for Springwood Avenue because it's definitely within walking distance. So it's a good location for both the Central Business District and Springwood Avenue corridor.
So there's a word that the UEZ is coming back. Is that something that's going to benefit us?
Definitely. The UEZ, the last time the city got money from the UEZ was 2011. And so on August the 16th of this year, Acting Governor Sheila Oliver signed the new law into bill. There's 37 municipalities, Asbury Park is one of them, and they're to receive $42.5 million in the year 2022. The city itself will receive $526,606. Future funding will go up to $82.5 million. That's the most it can ever go according to this law, and it will go up annually, same as the CPI. So any future increases will be the same as the CPI. Robert Goodman, who's in charge of community development, he's the director, he'll be overseeing this. And the monies can be used to promote the city. 10% can be used for administrative costs. Up to 25% can be used for public safety. And then all the other can be used for here or there, but everything has to be approved by the Department of Community Affairs. The way I read it, it looks like it's guaranteed for 10 years. And again, the bill just passed on August 16th, and the little bit I did, Mr. Goodman made a presentation at the last council meeting, and so we're anticipating 10 years.
Is any of that able to go back into businesses? Because I remember
Yes.
The individual businesses were able to take advantage of that.
Yes. In the past, how it was used for business loans and everything, yes, that still qualifies.
What's the nature and scope of this SAR team project?
STAR team is part of the Preferred Behavioral Health Group, and STAR stands for Support Team for Addiction Recovery. So they have been working, the behavioral has been working with Doug Schultz for 4 years on other projects. So they reached out to him to start a 3-month project for addiction recovery, where anybody who's detained by the police, this group, the STAR group, will be called, and their professionals will come out and try to give them help, be it through support, training, literature, referrals, anything to try to get people off of addictions. It's totally free to the city. Their hours Monday through Friday will be 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And then they'll still have an answering machine, and if it's a crisis, somebody might be able to get there. And then Saturday and Sundays, again, the answering machine. But at least 2 to 3 of their support people that will be doing this regularly live in Asbury Park. So, they may be available on weekends and after hours. And again, they made a presentation at the last council meeting. It's on APTV. People can watch it. It's just it's a great partnership for them to reach out and offer this to the city. And we're really looking forward to it, just because if we can help anybody to recover from addiction, it helps them, it helps everybody in the world.
Where do we stand with the Madison Marquette Convention Hall issue?
Well, it was more than just Convention Hall. The city kept on sending letters, and we didn't get responses. They were important, so we finally declared them in default. Now they have either 30 or 45 days to either say they're not in default and tell us why, or to cure the default. So basically, that's where it is. They just got served last week officially, so it's at that stage, and so the next move is theirs. Everybody sees Convention Hall.
Sure.
Everybody sees parts of it are closed off. When Surfside happened in Florida, a building right close to the ocean, the mayor of Surfside gets on national TV, and I'm watching and says, we're close to the ocean, and salt air and salt water doesn't match well with cement and steel. The first thing that went in my mind is Convention Hall. Now the East Wing, which is all in pilings, has been closed off for years. Our main thing is public safety. Right. So that was our main concern. And so we had asked them for a complete structural report, and they agreed to give it to us by July 29th. We didn't get it, so there was no other option to say, look, guys, enough is enough. We're holding you in default. Right. Hopefully we'll all work this out to everybody's benefit. It does nobody any good not to work it out, but right now the ball is in Madison Marquette's hands.
These announcements are really the culmination of months and months of behind the scenes, no action kind of thing.
Well, that's why if somebody went on our website or went and read the actual default notices, and there's 4 or 5 different ones, the correspondence goes back to the beginning of this year, if not further, and again, few, if any, replies.
We were talking earlier before we started rolling about the Firehouse. Why don't we bring everybody up to speed on that discussion?
The site has been determined to be basically right across from basically where we are. The parking lot on the west side of the tracks, between the tracks and Memorial Drive, that's owned by the city. That's where we intend to put the Firehouse. Sure Point's architect from Ocean Grove, they've been hired by the city months ago, so they're starting to design it. It's big enough piece of property, it'll fit there. It definitely has to be done. The Firehouse on Asbury in Maine, is in terrible shape, and we're just hoping we can make it through till we get the new one up.
And any word on whether City Hall is going to be redone, moved?
If COVID didn't hit, the parking garage might be close to being done. So we pivoted from doing this site to doing a parking garage, and then down the road re-looking at this, but I'm guessing that's 10 years down the road.
But it is still on the boards to...
Oh, absolutely. This is too nice a piece of property for just one lousy 2-story building where, right. If we had the time and it was a better world that we could go up say 6 to 8 stories and have affordable housing have all the city hall offices, have everything else, have, everything in it. It would be the right move.
So we have parking, we have Firehouse, and then long range, do something with this.
Oh, yeah, and then across Memorial Drive on Springwood, there's still the piece of property next to Boston Way that can be developed.
All right.
So we're looking for maybe some retail on the first floor and like affordable above that. And then there's a piece of property next to Lincoln Village. And, so that's another piece of property that's going to be developed as the gateway into Springwood Avenue.
Sure.
And that's why the parking garage being there, again, can go east and west.
Even though we're still a little out, any thoughts on running again for mayor?
If God willing, yes, I'm going to run again.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as I feel like I'm still doing a good job, as long as I feel like I still have the support of the rest of the council. I would say I'm like 90-10, where I'm going to say a year ago I was probably 50-50. So, but my intentions, yes.
Glad to hear it. And what are there any other concerns of the council that we should know about? Any other hot buttons that are being discussed and coming up for our community to know?
Well, we're having a meeting this week, and that's where we're going to be discussing, like, what are our goals for 2022? What, like, if we have 10, that's narrowed down to 3 that can actually be done.
Right.
My goal this year, and the city manager, Donna Vieira, has done an excellent job, and with Mr. Goodman, was workforce development. Because we need to provide jobs. We have a high unemployment rate, and they've done a great job of getting that off the ground, and more is going to be done. Again, anybody can go to APTV, watch the last council meeting. Mr. Goodman made a presentation, and people like Dwayne Small have helped because he applied for one of the jobs. Every agreement we do with any builder now, they have to have a workforce development component to it, where they have to have so many apprentices, so many contractors, so many this, so many that. And then people get scholarships and go to college. So it's great. And so he applied for the Cove, the one on the triangle across from Wesley Grove. And it's a Hovnanian project. And Hovnanian really busted their back to have a good presentation and tried to get people in the community involved in everything. But it didn't work as good as everybody wanted to, but I introduced Dwayne to Mr. Goodman, where Dwayne's going to give him some ideas. Hey, look, here, because, the next big one is going to be the 240 apartments on the block 4001, Kingsley between 4th and 3rd. iStar development, all apartments. So, okay, we learned from this one, but each one's going to have another workforce development project in it. So we want people like Dwayne who said, well, here, help us make it better.
Will they be announced to the public, your goals, or will you guys just be working on
Well,
them?
first we're going to just discuss them and then go from there. And if anybody has any suggestions, they can please, go to our website and submit them. They can call any of the council people. They can call the city manager. But we're open to any and all ideas.
Great.
So, but we'd like to do one big one a year, like workforce development. We've done affordable housing, we've done others. So there's more out there to be done.
Oh.
There's always more to be done.
There's always more to be done.
So I just had Leisha Floyd give me a list of things coming up. So September 17th to 19th is See Here and Now. September 24th is the homecoming parade for the high school. The 24th to the 26th is Oyster Fest in Bradley Park for the Chamber of Commerce. October 2nd is Zombie Walk and Porch Fest. And then also on the 2nd is the Quality of Life Green Expo at Springwood Avenue Park. On October 23rd is the 2-2 Run. On the 24th is Shoreline Heart Walk, which is on the boardwalk in Bradley Park. and going into November, a lobster run on the 6th. And a turkey dash on the 13th, and then I'm sure we'll meet before then.
Yeah, we will.
And I'll give you a list of more coming up after that. But there's always something going on. Hopefully, like, we have nice weather, and hopefully we get past this COVID so we can have more and more events.
Be safe out there, everybody.
That's it. Everybody just be safe, do as much as you can, be diligent, and be vigilant, and we'll get through this.
We will. John, I thank you, and I hope that next time we do this, we won't have to wear masks again.
I hope so too. But again, thank you so very, very much.
Thanks.